You know, every country thinks of themselves as exceptional, and every country is in their own way. And American exceptionalism, that phrase has meant a lot of things over the years. I mean, we've used it in the past to justify bullying around the world. We've used it to justify invading countries like Iraq that were largely minding their own business. We've used it for noble purposes like ending slavery and enfranchising women. Exceptionalism has often led to bad behavior, as we saw in the years leading up to World War II. Yet in America, like in pretty much every other country, it's a political necessity to patriotically assert the uniqueness of one's country and love of one's country. This can be a healthy thing unless it's used to assert both uniqueness and superiority. Then it turns toxic. There's a meaningful parallel here with tribalism and racism. To say I'm of Turkish or Norwegian or African ancestry and proud of it is an entirely different thing from saying that one's ancestry makes one superior to other people and then to go out and assert that supposed superiority by doing things like perpetrating job or housing discrimination. Awareness or even pride are different from oppression or assertion of power over others. President Obama yesterday redefined, and this was, in his speech, and I think it was largely ignored or missed by most Americans, he largely redefined American exceptionalism in a way that essentially recalibrated it away from the Bush definition. He said, I believe in American exceptionalism with every fiber of my being, but what makes us exceptional is not our ability to flout international norms and the rule of law. You will recall, I editorially comment here in the middle of my Obama quote, Bush was a master at ignoring international norms and the rule of law. Anyhow, back to Obama. It's our willingness to affirm them through our actions. That's why, President Obama said, I will continue to push to close Gitmo because American values and legal traditions don't permit the indefinite detention of people beyond our borders. He goes on to say, that's why we are putting in place new restrictions on how America collects and uses intelligence. Oh, he's replying to Edward Snowden. Excuse me. Because we will have fewer partners and be less effective if a perception takes hold that we are conducting surveillance against ordinary citizens. America does not simply stand for stability or the absence of conflict, no matter what the price. We stand for the more lasting peace that can only come through opportunity and freedom for people everywhere. While most Americans probably didn't notice this nuanced shift in the president's definition of American exceptionalism, I think it's worth noting. While politics demands that he continue to use the word or the phrase, he's shifting its meaning to one that's more rational and more useful. Can you imagine what American exceptionalism might mean today if John McCain, for example, had been elected president? Iran would be a smoldering rubble. We'd have 100,000 troops in Syria and God knows where else. Saying that we're exceptional because we actually follow international law and advocate peace is to say that all countries can fit that definition and to set a good example for the world. Now, if President Obama would take it all away and follow the rule of international law to not kill civilians in foreign lands with drones, he might be actually taken more seriously. And if Republicans would get with the program and let the president use federal money to close Gitmo, we might begin to meet this new definition of exceptionalism that's actually a healthy and useful one. We might rejoin the family of nations around the world that actually embrace peace and the rule of law.